Hello everyone, this is Lucy from Seaside Tarot Channel, and I'm popping on because I got a parcel in the mail. I'm so excited. I have to share it with everyone. It is Gabby Angus West's latest edition of the Wyrd of Sarah Howard by Gabby. And I don't know if she says if it's what edition it is. I don't think it's mentioned here. But I had the first edition and I gave it to a friend who really wanted it. And I was happy to hand it over. But in hindsight, I regretted it because this oracle's based on where I grew up, on the lakes, the Great Lakes, the Wallace Lakes. My great aunt lived on Wallace Lake, and we used to go fishing and swimming, and we just lived on the lake. I have vivid memories of catching lots of fish and going for day outing to have a picnic. So this particular oracle has a special meaning for me. So I'll just read the introduction. So welcome to the Wyrd of Sarah Howard Oracle of the Sacred Salty Lake. By a shallow, salty lake right by the Pacific Ocean lives an artist who makes oracle cards. Whilst out walking before breakfast for pleasure and inspiration, she fell upon the notion of seeking help from a muse. That morning she may have met Sarah Howard, a traveller who stayed close as she made her little oracle. It flowed from the lake, whispered of past lives, and hinted of the recovery human creativity. Inside the box you'll find 60 gentle sun-soaked cards to accompany you on your own cosmic path, inviting past for help discovering the depth of your own creative soul. The cards will tell of your fortunes in sunny, soft-spoken tones sprinkled with the lightest pinch of Wallace Lake salt. Dive in, the water is glorious. Well, it was a lovely place to grow up, I must say. And let's have a look. Let's dive in and have a look at the cards. Cardstock is much better than my first edition. This is linen. There's the backs. Aren't they pretty? Aren't they pretty? With water and the flowers of the native areas down there. There's a lot of walks and a lot of reserves. So that's why I think Gabby's acknowledgement of country. I pay my respect to the elders past, present and emerging, for they hold the memories, the traditions, the cultures and the hope of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island people across the state. I would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people, traditional custodians of land, including Wallace Lake, extending special respect to the Wurundjeri people who live upon this land. Isn't that lovely? Anyway, let's have a look. So the cardstock's nice, the backs are lovely, and it's matte finish, waking up in the sun. Yeah, me as a child. My aunt had a jetty into the lake as well. She had a little motorboat. Always the one bathing in my aunties. Yeah. Bringing you home. We all have our off days. I detect something different about today. The path ahead is strewn with obstacles. Ooh, so it's got a bit of shadow work in here. One day this will be me. Definitely got a lot of shadow work in here. Sea eagle envy. Overwhelmed. Your warmth meets the frosted heart. Oh, melts, sorry. Your warmth melts the frosted heart. Welcome, stranger. Vista guards the fire. Small wooden home near the water. She cares for the lake. Communing with nature. A merry dance. Wow. Sudden lack of confidence. Well, we all had that when we were teenagers, didn't we? As a day as dry as a bone. Although never known the lake to be dry. A single card of truth. One pair of hands. Aren't these lovely? So long and thanks for all the fish. Yes. When I was growing up, people travelled with caravans just like that. They didn't go overseas. They travelled from one seaside village to another in caravans and lived in caravans for holidays. Always wanted to swim with the dolphins. That which moves me to tears. I hear the universe. Halfway there. They're just the little islands in the Great Lake too. Skying in the water. In search of bigger fish. I remember one day we were in a dinghy and we just floated on the tide going out, and the flathead always came to the surface and we could just scoop them out with nets. It was just, and we had so many flathead that we stopped fishing because we had too many. I am unfeasibly jealous. One day I will return. Yes, well, one day I will return. It's about an 8-hour drive for me to get there from, I live now on the Pacific Ocean up north. Never truly alone. Freaked out by seagrass. I was never a big fan of the seagrass. The oysters have sucked my feet. Oh, my aunt lived near the oyster farms and we used to have dozens of oysters just for lunch with bread and butter. Oh, it was lovely. Different time, different time. Now you can't even get half a dozen oysters. Contemplating mortality. So it's definitely got a lot of shadow in the oracle. Holding my breath. These clever little lights only come on in the dark. Too cold even for the dog. Well, Newcastle is not even around Foster. You don't swim in winter. It's too overcast and cold. Cloud control. Real magic. Flaming liberty. In search of actualization. Look at that. This is all very well, but how will we eat? Everything here is mine. All the bones. Okay, so sometimes it is good to share. When the tide brings apples, make cider. Isn't that clever? Sarah sits and Sarah sews. So you can see the essence of the water flowing through each of the cards. See, these are the lorikeets. We have a lot of lorikeets up here. At the moment, they're eating the bottle brush. So they've come for the autumn flowers that grow beside the sea. And they sing and make lots of noises and get drunk on fruit and fall out of the trees. It's quite funny to watch. And then you pick them up and put them back on a tree birch. Who made this? Thirsty work. I see you there gleaming in the distance. The lake. Seriously intoxicating. The trumpet flower, the angel trumpet flower. It's quite poisonous, but it can give you a high. And it's banned in certain parts of Australia, I think, I'm told. But you do see it in old homes, the garden of old homes, the trumpet flower. Don't ask me the botanical name because I can't remember, but I grew it once. At last, a friend with a boat. You've got to have a boat on the Great Lake. The liminalist. You pull out all the stops, but today we are not connected. I feel like that sometimes. And a beard of fish. Not a swarm of fish, but a beard of fish. Now, isn't that lovely? And it's little. Has a little bag I can put it in. And the first edition comes in a little blue bag, colour of the blue in the backs. But this is just as nice. And I look forward to using the Wyrd of Sarah Howard. So, let's have a look at the guidebook. And I notice at the back that each of the cards is associated with a playing card meaning. So we've got clubs for action and energy, hearts for emotion and feeling, spades for thought and psyche, diamonds for material and physical, like the minors in tarot. So an ace, new, balance is 2, connection is 3, stability is 4, disturbance is 5, 6 is harmony, 7 is mystery, 8 is movement, 9 is growth, 10 is completion, page is innocence, jack is ignorance, queen is wisdom, and king is mastery. And then it goes through and gives the action and energy for our clubs, and the emotion and feeling for hearts, and the spade and thought for psyche, and the material and physical. So it will go through and give a quick synopsis of that, and then I'll give a more in-depth meaning of each of the cards. So let's shuffle, and we'll pull a card before I close. Love the backs. Love my little deck. Love the thought that's gone into the guidebook. So let's have a go at finding the most appropriate card, or being given the most, oh, one jumped. Well, that's the title card. So what have we got here? Waking up in the sun. It's an ace. That's on the, if you look on each of the cards, it'll have an ace. Or let's have a look at the other ones. Clubs, clubs 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hearts 3, 4, 5, jack of clubs, king of clubs. That's interesting. All right, so I've got the ace of clubs. I think they're clubs. Don't play cards. Clubs, ace, new ideas. So waking up to the sun, new ideas. So it's new beginnings for this particular card. And let's have a look and see what's okay. Ace of clubs, awake. Waking up to the sun to find that the day is all done. Wake, woke, to wake up. The meaning, mutating and changing as the years slip by. As for Sarah, she merely opens her eyes, so full of love and hope. The eternal promise of the new day after a refreshing night lets her dreams gently give way to reality, a natural awaking from a comfortable sleep. The low sun rays triggering a natural waking of the soul in connection with the circadian rhythms. Good morning, darling. So, waking up to the sun. Isn't that lovely? I say these are summer cards, so we're going into winter, so I'll probably use them more when we move into the latter half of the year. Let me just do one more. We'll do one more. Seriously intoxicating, Queen of Diamonds. All right, let's have a look. What's the Queen of Diamonds have to say? Queen of Diamonds, intoxication. You will not drink from my poison cup. Oh, that's the angel trumpet flowers that I was talking about before. You'll not drink from my poison cup. What we have here is Detra, angel trumpet, a back garden hallucinogen, so strong any part of the plan can induce a trip you may never emerge from. I heard a story of a young man who was tempted to test out the myth. He grew immediately giddy and remained dizzy for the rest of his life. It could be true, seriously intoxicating. So you will not drink from my poison cup. I will not pass on my toxic behaviors to my offspring by feeding you a diet of my insecurities. The wounds must be healed within me. It can be so tempting to show a child who you really are. to let rip, warts and all. Yet how dare we, when we are self-aware enough to know what we are doing? We must conduct ourselves better and free our children from ancestral wounds. Never, ever grow a datra. That must be the botanical name for the plant. Never, ever grow a datra in your own backyard. So that's the angel trumpet plant. Yeah, I mentioned that before. Anyway, many blessings everyone. I hope you enjoyed the show and tell. Until next time, au revoir.